See, there is a couple of reasons why strong Incarnon is my favorite shotgun. Let's start with the first reason, which is the first Incarnon upgrade. Increase base damage by 2 and on firing plus 5 base multi-shot, stacks up to 5 times. And the key here is obviously plus 5 base multi-shot. Giving it plus 5 to base multi-shot for firing times 5 is just insane, especially considering how cheap the revens are for it and how high of the disposition it got. But now granted, like whenever you reload, it resets. But it does not matter, it's still one of the best Incarnon perks. And that basically means we need to stack as much multi-shot as we can, because since it adds it to the base multi-shot, the multi-shot mod's gonna get insane amount of value. And the second reason is kind of like split in two parts, since you have crazy increase for base status in both forms and you have good crit increase. The difference between those two is this is like usually when you use to normal content, and this is when you have to deal with any type of damage attenuation. So basically to one shot or try to. There is one exception to it, is if you have crazy Reven with very good crit strike chance and crit strike damage and multi-shot. And if you would have minus impact, well, the Hunter Munition build will go very fucking hard. But if you have minus impact, you could as well stay with this and have like status chance, crit strike and multi-shot. But if you have Driven, this gains a lot of value. And basically same applies to this. If you have status chance multi-shot and let's say Toxin or damage Driven, this gains a lot of value. But basically talking about the Revens, the best minus is obviously impact. And basically, since we have Jade the Shadows update, not having a Reven is not that painful, since you can always use one of the new Shotgun Elementalist or the other one, Semi-Shotgun Cannonade. But obviously, well, with this disposition, those mods don't compare. So getting a Raven is like go-to if you like the weapon. And I happen to have a very nice one, multi-shot damage, and I also have multi-shot status chance. So I build it for Dante at least. I build it with 100 munitions, critical strike, using the status Incarnon, galvanized of course, vigilante, cause any multi-shot's gonna go crazy on this with the first upgrade we have, and of course shotgun elementalist for the slash. But sadly the Raven's not the best, since I'd rather to have Toxin Cold honestly and multi-shot, but since it's Dante, I have Noctua. Whenever I buff the Noctua buff, I also get the Noctua status and I have viral on it. So that's how I get the viral to Strun without having it on it, nor using Nourish, so I'm using Roar for Dante. But in case of Saren, she makes it way easier, since her Toxin with 2 green Archon shards for corrosive stacks and 3 for the Toxin damage, she basically has a better version of Slash in form of her Toxin. So I just used Galvanized Savvy and like mostly the same mods, with the difference to Toxic Barrage, Frigid Blast, also increasing Toxic Lash from this, and the same Riven. But also on Dante I'm using Primary Merciless as Arcane, but Saren enables me to use Primary Blight, which is just insane. And to exactly explain you the amount of value we get from the upgrade for multi-shot, this is a build with the other Riven with status chance and all the mods I could master for the status chance. It's 95.5% per projectile and I get 50 with a Incarnon perk that adds to the basic multi-shot. So now it's time for some mathematics, and the base multi-shot is 12. So after we shoot 5 times with our first Incarnon upgrade, we get plus 25, giving us 37. Up the multi-shot mods. Let's start off with the Galvanized Hell, 110, and when you have it stacked, 30 times 4. And we clearly see why Galvanized Hell is such an insane mod, because we get 230 multi-shot from it. And with Vigilante armaments, we go up to 290. And possibility to use on our companion, on the Verglas or any other weapon, the rest of the Vigilante mods, so we get the chance for extra crit tier on our crit strikes. And now adding our Reven with whooping 151.8, we go up to 441.8. And if we were using Saren, or you have access to Toxin to get Primary Blight, you would end up with whooping 513.8% extra multi-shot. But since most of people will not be just playing Saren, we will be using the results without Primary Blight, which is the 441.8% multi-shot bonus once we have Galvanized Hell stacked up. And that brings us to 37 multi-shot base with the Incarnon stack plus 441.8%. And that gives us 200 pellets fired with a single shot. Remember, that's when you get Galvanized Hell and your Incarnon upgrade stacked up. It doesn't show us in the mods screen, since the base multi-shot gain is only after we shoot 5 times first. But the real winner here is our Incarnon form, which has baseline 1 shot fired. So we go already up to 6 with the Incarnon upgrade, and then adding up all our multi-shot mods, we go up to 32.5. So every time we fire, we get 32 and a 50% chance for 33 projectiles. So basic for multi-shot 200, Incarnon for multi-shot 32.5 with galvanized hell and the Incarnon upgrade stacked up to full. So now let's take a look at our status chance in both base and Incarnon form. So we basically end up on 200 pellets fired per a single shot with 95.5% status chance on each one of them, and nearly 1000% on the Incarnon form. And that basically means that every single projectile out of the 32.5, so 32 or 33, depending if we lucky or not, will apply nearly 10 status effects. But if you thought that's all, well, you would be very, very wrong then. Because you see, we still have the reason why I picked Dante and Saren for all of that. And for Dante's part, it's the buff we get from the final verse when we use Page Flight. And that's status damage increase and status vulnerability 176%. And for Saren, it's simply Toxic Lash that guarantees every single damage instance from the multi-shot we get will apply one of the toxin, or more if you have toxin builded on the Struno. But I think now it's time to check all of that in action. But I won't be using the full status build, I will be using the build I'm using most of the time when I use Dante, which is the Prime Ravage, Critical Deceleration, and Munition combo. While I remain with the Incarnon upgrade for status chance, since the go-to is having the even with Toxin, Cold, and Multi-Shot. And of course, minus impact would be just perfect to maximize to the complete fullest of it possibility of getting slash. Okay, and I have my galvanized stacked for multi-shot, and before I even get all of the merciless, let's see, 20 slashes, yeah, full impact. It would be more impact, but well, it just caps out on the 5, sadly. Like, if you have minus impact driven, you will be so happy. That's without any buff. Okay. Let's see, normal for... Okay, let's shoot a few times to get the blazing barrel. It's called blazing barrel, the Incarnon upgrade. 28, 33. Well, without the buffs, it's not the same. Let's see with the buffs. Let's get the Noctua buff for our viral and our status vulnerability. Everything the birds touch is now way more vulnerable to status. Oh, 69. 145. Huge upgrade already. I mean, my Noctua will never like prime so fast. 5 shots. I never use this form, so I don't have any magazine capacity. Yeah, it's not the same if you add even with viral. Look, Noctua can't prime so fast with just the fact it's from the buff. It's not the Noctua itself, since I have it helmet with roar. But remember, this damage is like without roar. If I press roar, I mean, okay. Let's see. Yeah. Roar is broken. Use roar. And now let's see how Saren will do with it. With her build, with primary blight. And I'm gonna start off with only using Toxic Lash. As sad as it is what it is. I just realized that after changes to description on your Incarnon upgrades, D still lacks the finishing touch to everything. Because I should have 200 multi-shot, which would give me 200 toxin. But, you know, I don't see... I would have more multi-shot because of the primary blight. So I have 77. So all the mathematics I did for it, they are worth jack shit till the either fixes it or changes the description that it does not add to the base multi-shot. Because if you add it to base multi-shot, the multi-shot mods gain way more value. I mean, it's still insane, even for the base form. It only toxic lash, but it should be way more broken. People shouldn't sleep on that weapon anyway. Like, that's just toxic lash, yeah? Siren is a weapon platform because of how many buffs she can give to the weapon. So, if we spice it up a little bit now, Madurai, Roar, and the Corrosive. And you will not see anything other than everything just dying. So, you know, that's why I always hesitate to show off anything with Saren. She's just built like different. But actually crazy to think of it with the fact this does not work as I thought it will. It's still such an insane weapon. If they ever fix it, oh lord, I'm not swapping the weapon. Actually, let's check that build for Dante on a frame that's purely melee, which is my Kullervo with Nourish as Helmint. Okay, I stacked up Galvanized Hell, Primary Merciless. I use my Nourish up. And I should before the dog primes them, because it's gonna be way too easy. I mean, everything's already primed up. Look now. Remember the galvanized status damage bonus per status effect is only applied on non-radial attacks. So on direct ones, if you do this, it's not applied. But yeah, they will still get erased. But to be fair, the full potential of Throne. I mean, to be fair, I wish I could show you the full potential of it. Like if we had possibility of making the mobs immortal, just so you can see the numbers, but they would not die. That would be perfect, because if I would follow my Strun hit with final verse on all buffs before something dies, you would see a true AoE damage cap that's literally spammable. But let's still give it a shot to try and see the full potential of Dante. One shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get the rest of the galvanized. And let me try. No, there's no way. Yeah, but how would I sum it up? I would sum it up with saying the E, you either fix your upgrades for Incarnons or you fix the U description. But that's it from me for now. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please like, comment, share and subscribe. And as always, see ya in the next one.